बात करूँ तो मुझे तो Good morning, everyone. Thank you for your time. We shall wait for next 5 minutes and to start the session, and then we can go ahead with it. Sharp 11:05, we will be starting our session. So good morning, everyone, and thank you for your time. I'm Devina Falke from Firm Way, and my colleague Suman Yadav will be taking ahead today's audit confirmation training. Meanwhile, I'll just quickly give some instructions to all the attendees attending. It will be great if you can keep your mic at a mute mode, since there will not be any disturbance created. Secondly, if you are not able to understand any point, or if you have any query, we have a Q&A section over in the left side corner. You can just type in your questions and our team will be there to answer it. All the question and answers will be taken care at the end of the session. If you are unable to log in through the Zoho link which was provided, we also have shared the YouTube link over your Google Meet calendar, so you can also join from there. Further, if your questions are unanswered, or if you have any more questions, you can definitely reach us on support@firmway.in, and we'll make sure all your questions will get answered over there as well. So we still have a minute to start with our training. So meanwhile, we'll just display a question for you. Let us know if you have used firmware before. Great. We can see there are many new users who are there for our using our platform. So we can just quickly stop our first poll. Okay, so great, Suman. You can take ahead with the session. If anything is there, everyone will raise their hand or drop a Q&A session. So Suman Yadav, up to you.
Thank you so much, Devina. I hope my screen is visible to everyone. And good morning, everyone. This is Suman from Firmware team, and I'll be the one leading the webinar today. So, before proceeding further, I'll briefly, discuss about the agenda today for this webinar. First of all, this webinar is going to be of 1.5 hour, in which we are going to have an audit confirmation overview and the entire process flow of Firmware, that which includes account setup on Firmware, requesting audit confirmation, response monitoring, and audit documentation, feature updates, question and answer session. So today we are going to cover the entire topic. So moving ahead, we will be starting with audit confirmation overview. Before that, would like to brief you that once the session ends, we'll be having a question and answer settings where you can address your queries and we will answer the same. Also, once the session has ended, we'll be sharing with you the feedback form, where you can share your valuable opinion with us as well. Going ahead, we'll be starting with an overview of audit confirmation. We all are aware that today audit confirmation has become an important part of financial aspect field, and that is because it safeguards the financial interest of an organization. For us auditors, it has become a prominent tool to detect any fraud. And by fraud, we are aware of fraud and scams such as Satyam, Wirecard, but $1 trillion frauds were done. All this could have been detected through seeking independent balance confirmation from the bankers, customers, and suppliers. And we auditors have a provision of SA 505, where we as an auditor are required to receive external confirmation directly from the confirming parties so that we have a solid and relevant data with us for the detection of the fraud. But as per the report of Audit Quality Review 2019 and 20, the findings are that SA 505, even though is one of the best provision for detecting the fraud, it has the second highest non-compliance findings. That is, 1 out of 5 firms are non-compliant to SA 505, that is not following the standard procedure. That is, and the major reasons highlighted were that there were issues in storing of documentation, proper control. There was no proper control over the process, no storage of logs properly kept, not enough sample size, and other alternative performance were not performed. Due to which it becomes a difficult task for us to, it becomes time consuming and difficult for us to track such entire logs and so many parties together. So keeping in mind all of this, the issues faced by the auditors, the manpower required, and the time consumption, we Firmware have derived a solution in respect to the compliance of standards of auditing, okay, where all this thing can be done at one platform, which includes the tracking as well as the keeping the logs and entire process flow on one platform. You can get it. So proceeding ahead, we'll be giving you a solution where There will be an involvement of auditor as well as the client, where the auditor will be sending the request, client will be authorizing it, and then starts a monitoring and reporting process. So all of it is summed up in the same platform, becomes less time consuming, and you may be able to have a proper record of everything at one place. To quickly summarize the entire benefits of the same, I will tell you what can be done on this platform. On the same platform, you can send through email and SMS the confirmations. You can track the real-time status on what status exactly that party is. You can have the key statistic, that is how many parties have responded with difference, how many parties have not responded with difference, etc. Also, you'll be having a documentation proof of Excel, where the entire data can be exported in Excel and it becomes easier for you to track manually. Automatic follow-ups are also done in case of the non-responders who are yet to be responded. So we don't have to do anything, just set the reminders and the follow-ups are sent to the non-responders. Summarized responses are get, and also we have a reconciliation platform for the same for both auditors as well as the responders. They can reconcile any cases of differences on the same platform and get notified as well. So briefly, this platform is where you can entirely process in one place without much of time consumption. So we'll be going ahead and seeing in detail exactly how this process works and how it is to be done for your own benefit. Starting ahead, we'll go ahead with account setup on Firmway. Now, to proceed ahead with Firmway, you have to set up your account. And in that account setup, what is involved, we'll have a brief consumption about that. So starting, we have two account setups that are need to be done. That is auditor account setup. That is a 5-step process on our platform. And then comes a client account setup process, that is 2-step process. Like I said earlier, there are involvement of two people, the auditor and the client. So moving ahead, we'll go one by one. First, we'll start with the auditor account setup, which, like I told you, is a 5-step process. And it involves registering your firm, getting your firm activated, configuring your domain, adding users, both, and the 5th one is configuring sending email. So the simple 5 steps are need to be followed. We'll go one by one, starting with registering your firm on the Firmway portal. So I'll just have you a quick walkthrough how it can be done. Mostly, I guess most of the attendees might be already aware of a registration process. To the new users, I'll make you walk through the process of the registration. So going ahead with this registration, we'll quickly go through it. You need to visit our platform, that is app.firmway.in. Once you visit our platform, if you're a new user, you need to go and click on register. Once it is done, there are 3 details that need to be filled: user information, entity information, and your personal information. User information requires your role, whether it's a company as an auditor. So basically, this registration form is for both, similar for auditor as well as the client. You can select your role if you're an auditor, and if you're a company, select so. Entity type, that is whether it's a private company, and as an auditor, whether it's an LLP, proprietorship, partnership, etc. Once that is done, you need to fill entity details, company name, company PAN, in case of firm, firm registration number. Once that is done, you need to click the personal information that would be requiring the director's full name or mobile number, email, set password, confirm password, etc. And submit the details, that is click on next. Once that is done, you just need to click on finish, and you'll be getting an activation email where you need to upload documents for, as an auditor, member card and your firm card. So basically, we have finished with registering and as well as activation. So on the other hand, easily we have completed our 2 steps without much effort. Now comes our 3rd step, that is configuring your DNS setting. which is to be done by your IT team or any IT concerned person who's responsible for it. Once you go and log into your portal, this is how your portal will be looking like after the activation. To have a quick overview of that, this would be a dashboard. And in order to complete our third step, that is domain configuration, you need to go and click on settings. And there's an option domain configuration. And why do we require this domain? We require this domain in order to give the authentication, because we'll be shooting an email in bulk and it should go and land up in the party's inbox. So this is the accordingly setting that is required. Fill your domain name, verify it. Once you verify it, you get a download option. Once the file has been downloaded, this is how the file would look like. Forward this to your IT concerned person. We have an info sheet how you can accordingly configure the DNS. There are two records that need to be published by your IT team. Make sure it is published properly. That is domain text record and DKIM, that is CNAME records. Once it is published, you can go on the portal, update the status, and you're good to go on your fourth step. Now, once these steps are completed, comes our fourth step of adding users as well as configuring sending email. We'll start with the fourth one first. Adding users. The process is simple. Log into your portal, same go on the settings, manage users. Once this is done, there's an option as manage users, and here you can add users according to the roles given to them. I'll walk you through it. If there is only one or two person that you need to configure or add, you can click on create sub user. If there are multiples, we do have an option for that as well. We have where you can download an Excel file, fill the details and upload it. I'll show you how exactly it will look like and what the details you need to fill. Go ahead. This is how the Excel file looks like, and it is the same in single user as well. You need to fill the first name, which would be mandatory. So all the columns you're able to see in red are mandatory. First name, last name, email, mobile number, it's not mandatory, role. Coming ahead with this role, there are four types of role, that is admin, portal manager, authorizer, and preparer. Admin basically would suggest you to keep it as partners, give them a role, because once you have selected an admin, you would be requiring membership number for the same. Second is portal manager. Admin is the one who has all the access, and portal manager comes after the admin who has an access to entire portal, but he won't be able to add the users. Authorizer is the one who will have an access where he can upload, authorize, send, track the data, and add email IDs as well. Preparer is the one who has an access where he can prepare the file and upload it to the system. So based on what role you want to give to that particular member, you can assign them. Upload the details here as well as configure in single users accordingly. They will be receiving an activation mail where they can create their password and the login credentials is created, and they can start using their login credential for carrying out their assigned works. So this manage users has been completed. Here comes the fifth step, which same as manage users, we need to go on settings and email configuration. Now, what is email configuration? Email configuration is the one that requires you to configure the email ID from which you would be sending the confirmations from. So you can either, if you have added the particular mail ID in the users, you can select from the drop down. If not, there is some particular other mail ID that you want to send the confirmation from, you can click on add new email, enter the details, enter the email ID and verify this email. Once you verify this email, the person's mail ID, the member's mail ID you have configured will get a verification, that is activation link. Once they click on that link, the email ID will be activated. You need to come to the email configuration and update the status. And the status would be shown as success. Means you have successfully configured the email ID. This is how the entire process of auditor account setup 5-step process is done without much of an effort into it. So we have completed our registration, account activation, configured our DNS, adding users, configuring email, sending email. So before moving ahead on the next step, I would like to ask if anyone has any doubt in this auditor account setup. We'll be waiting 5 minutes. Please let us know if there are any doubts, any questions regarding to the same. We do have a question here that my account has been activated by Firmway. However, I have not received the DNS configuration yet. So basically, once you need to download the file, like I showed you, I'll have you a quick brief through that you need to go in the domain settings, download this configuration. That is where you need to verify your domain and download this file and forward to the IT team, because your IT team is the one who will be configuring this domain. So request you that to kindly forward the details to your IT team. They will configure and publish it. In case of any help you require, you can directly contact our support team as well on the chat box. DNS, second question is, do we have to start the DNS configure process every time before rolling out confirmation to third party? So DNS, I would like to tell you, is a one-time process. You don't have to do it again. Just configure it once, publish the record once, and you're good to go. What is the purpose of configuration of DNS? Okay, we have a question by Ravindra Thalan. Okay, so DNS configuration is done to verify your domain from which you are going to send the confirmation from. And as we are shooting the entire mail in bulk, it would be marked as spam and might land up. There are chances it might land up in the spam. So that is the reason for the proper landing of an inbox, we need to configure the DNS. Once, so we have a question, once role is selected as preparer, is it possible to change the role or authorizer? Sure, we can do that. You can contact us for the same. My firm is already member. Do I require to follow the registration process? So like I told you, if you have already registered, it means your registration process is completed. Just make sure that your activation has been done. In smaller firms, there is no IT team exists. So as a support team, definitely we will assist you. In case if you need any help in IT configuration, that is publishing of records, we can help you out in it. Just contact us. Please repeat the last step of configure sending mail. Sure. Configure sending email. So basically, configure sending email is from which we are going to send the confirmations from. Whichever mail ID you want to send the confirmation from, you can configure it in email configuration. You need to select the email if you have already added it as a user. If not, if it's another email ID that you want to send from, click on add new email, give the name, give the particular email ID, verify it. Once you verify the email, that particular email will get a verification link, that is activation link, where you need to click it and update the status over here. Once it is updated, you will get an option as success. In case if you need any help in it, kindly contact our support team. We are there to help you. Mention Gmail in the domain box under domain and click on verify. Okay. So domain means basically it's not a gmail.com, your company organization domain. For example, I'll be giving you, mine is suman@firmway.in. So the domain would be firmway.in. So kindly check what is your domain and accordingly correct, configure the correct one and publish it. Firm is already a member. So how can I get the user ID and password for sending external confirmation? Okay. your firm is already member, so means you have registered as well as activated the account. Make sure that the account is activated, and once it is activated, log in with your email ID and password. You will be able to get logged in. And about sending confirmation, we will be discussing ahead. Other questions, or should we move ahead? I guess we're good to go. Thank you so much, everyone. We'll be going ahead with our second step. So our second step after auditor account setup is client account setup process. Now, client account setup process is just a two-step process in which you need to register your client and account activation. So first, as I told you, the auditor as well as the client registration process is similar. The only thing is you have to upload a member card and a firm card. The client has to accordingly register, or alternatively, you can also register the client by taking particular details that are mentioned over here, which would be requiring the company name, entity type, role company, company name, company PAN details, as well as their personal details. You can collect the same, and for the activation purpose, you can request the client for party letter and bank letter. Now, for the activation of the client, you require party, bank letter, GST certificate. What exactly is this party letter and bank letter? I'll explain you this through the help of sample that we have. Now, party letter and authority letter is a letter informative. It acts as an informative letter which you need to get signed off from the client for whom you're doing the audit confirmation. It gives a confidence to the responder that yes, you are assigned as an auditor to collect audit confirmation for that particular client. We will be sharing you this template as well as you can share it with your client, that when they receive an activation email, they can upload the party letter in case if they are rolling out the balances, and they can upload the bank confirmation letter in case if they are rolling out bank confirmations. In case of both, request you to tell them to upload both the template samples while activation of account, and this will get linked from the client's activation account. Once the activation is done, this is how the client's portal will look like. That they can accordingly check the details, make any changes in their settings, as well as if they want to add anything in the company profile, they can do the same, etc. So here we are done with your registration of client, account activation as well, that is by uploading party letter and bank letter. So any questions on this slide of client account activation setup process? This two-step process, please let us know. We'll be waiting 5 minutes. Do you have any video exam? Okay. So basically, we do have an help portal link, which we'll be sharing with you, or you can visit on our website. That is firmwaretalk.help. We'll be sharing with you as well during this session, where you can share it with the client for the account setup process. Okay. In client case, it is not mandatory for domain setting. It is mandatory only when the client wants to send the confirmation from their email domain. So accordingly, you do not require to set up any DNS on the client's account as long as it is required, that is, they want to send the confirmation from their domain. Where we have uploaded this confirmation letter on Firmware. Okay, so these confirmation letter, client is the one who uploads it. That is, when they receive an activation link, share this letter with the client, and they will be uploading it for the activation of account, and this letter is accordingly linked to their account. You don't have to do anything. While activation of the account, tell the client to upload these letters, and it will be linked automatically with the client's account and will be sent while rolling out the confirmation to all the parties. So is there any PDF which can show this process for the client part? Okay, we do have a help portal, and that is audit confirmation video. We do have it. We will share it with you. Any more questions? We'll wait for 2 more minutes. Okay. So we'll be going, okay, there's one more question that we have got. We will be requiring to do this account setup for new clients. Definitely. For the new clients that you're sending the confirmation for, they need to be registered on Formway as well. Can we get the recording of this session? Sure, you will. We'll be sharing you with the same. Can we mark multiple emails as CC for sending confirmation? Okay. This question, I would like to tell you that once I explain the further process, you will be able to understand how you can mark CC emails as well while sending the confirmations. You will be sharing the PPT which is being presented. Okay, so this is a PPT for the training purpose. In case if you require any help, do let us know. We'll help you out for the same. Is it also a one-time process? Okay, for each new client, it is a one-time process. You don't have to re-register the client for every time sending the confirmation. Once you have registered the client, you're good to go. Or do we have to do it for trade payables, receivable also again for bank confirmation? So trade payables, trade receivables, balance confirmation, bank confirmation, all this is included in the same. That is, you don't have to have a different setup process for the same client every time. You don't need to register the same client for different types of confirmations that you're sending. It is only a one-time process for all the types of confirmation. Any more questions do we have, or should we go ahead? Good to go. Now that we have completed our auditor's account setup, that is 5-step setup process flow, client account setup process, that is a 2-step process flow. Now the part comes where we have to get ready for sending the confirmation. And for sending the confirmation, requesting audit confirmation, we have a 5-step process. And as first we'll briefly discuss about it, and in detail we'll see it later. First one is creating authorization and assigning team, preparing Excel file. Second one. Third one, upload, commit, and authorize. Fourth is verification by the client, and fifth comes our configure and send request. Going step by step, we'll start with our first one, that is creating authorization and assigning team. Now that the client have been registered, the auditor firm is registered, now the client has been registered, we can go ahead and link both of these accounts. That is called authorization. In order to link this account, you have to go on confirmation, authorization. So before rolling out the confirmation, we need to go ahead and link these two accounts by creating authorization. Once you click on authorization, if it's a new client who you want to create the authorization for, click on create authorization. And once you click on create authorization, this is how the tab will open, which requires you to select the entity name. Whichever client you're doing the confirmation from. Audit type is the statutory audit that we're carrying out. If client has any branches, or if not, select all, partner's name, audit period that you're doing the confirmation for. Now comes the assigning team part. If there is a specific team assigned for the specific client, You can add them as a user, and accordingly, you can select that particular team for authorizer, preparer, etc. Once you are done with it, click on submit and your authorization will be created for that particular client. It means both of your accounts has been linked. And this is how the desktop would be looking like after creating the authorization, where you can, in case if you want to change the team for that particular client, you can do so by clicking on teams and changing the details. Now that our authorization part is done, comes up preparing Excel file. As we have set up the account, we have done the authorization, we have to feed the data to the system. And how the data is fed through an Excel file that needs to be prepared. We have an example where I'll walk you through that how this Excel file is supposed to be prepared. So this is a sample in which the data is to be fed by the client. All the columns in red are mandatory. We have an info sheet over here, which will help you to understand what is to be filled, where it is to be filled, and what are the instructions that are need to be followed. We'll go step by step. The first and the foremost important step is there should not be any formula in the sheet. So make sure that you do the pay special the entire data before closing or saving the sheet. Do not change the column headings and the sheet name. Do not kindly add any sheet. Do not change the sheet name. Do not change any column or delete any column from the sheet. Keep it intact as it is. Once it is done, you need to fill the data, that is reference number. Now, what is this reference number? Reference number means unique code of the party whom we are sending the confirmations for. So basically, it can be any unique vendor code, party code. If not, you can input as 1, 2, 3 as well. But it should be a unique number. Comes the entity name, that is the party name. All these columns which are not read are optional. So if you have the details, good to go, you can put it. If not, it works as well. Name. As we come to our name, this is a name one is mandatory. If you have the name of that particular person, good. If not, you can put it as sir, madam. Comes the email ID 1, where you need to put the contact details, email of that particular person. Now, there are instructions for email as well. Kindly see that there are no spaces between email IDs. There are no special characters. Make sure, otherwise the system would throw an error. File number, there are email ID. Now here comes the question that was asked that how do we put a CC mail ID? To have a clear view, I'll tell you that we up to 5 email IDs you can input. So let's say you have an alternate email ID as a CC, you can put it as name 2. Make sure that when you put the CC mail ID into, you also fill the name. If there is a name, good to go. If not, put it as sir, madam. Now comes the way. Way means we have 3 types of way, that is email and stamped accordingly, where you can, if as we are sending an email confirmation, we'll be selecting as an email. Comes a response type. Now there are 3 types of responses that you can send the confirmation to, that is positive, negative, and blank. Now, what is positive response? Now, positive response is where we give an option to the parties to select whether the amount is correct or incorrect. Negative is where the party has to respond within the time range of 10 days only if the balance is incorrect. Third is blank. If we don't want to share any details of our ledger or our amount, you can send a blank confirmation to the party. These are the 3 types. So whichever your client requires to send the details, accordingly you can select and roll out the confirmation and prepare the file. Third one is currency. Make sure when you add the amount, you also add the currency. So this currency and amount column is mandatory. Comes the remarks column. If you have any remarks that you need to mention, you can mention it in the remarks column. I'll give you a quick through how it looks like. This is how the Excel sheet that needs to be prepared looks like. Reference number, name of entity, all these fields are not mandatory. Name, email ID. Here comes our name too, that is CC mail ID. Make sure you fill it for CC emails as well. You can up to 5 email IDs fill it. Email bay, positive or negative. Accordingly, please select the same. Once you have done that, we need to fill the amount. If it is data, creditor, we have an option for all of them. If it's a data, creditor, advances, loans, in case if you do not anything mentioned over here is not applicable, you can mention in other description, that is rent deposit, if it's etc. For an example, make sure you put the description, INR, and amount as well. Remarks is we have a standard remark where we give is that in case of mismatch in amount, finally attach a ledger statement in Excel format. If you have any other remarks that will be mentioned, kindly you can fill the same. Now, once this file is filled, you can also validate this file while preparing itself. That is, we have an option for validate input. For an example, I'll be showing you, let's say there's an special character as well as in the accordingly file. We will go and we'll validate the inputs. We have validated the inputs whether it is correct or not. So this is how the incorrect data will be shown once you validate. That is in red. So this is one of the benefits that we have put in the Excel sheet, where before uploading only you can identify whether the data that you have filled is correct or not, or is there any error in the file. We also have an option such as attachment in the file. Let's say your client want to share their ledgers with the parties as well. You can do that. That facility is available as well with us, where they can go in the attachment sheet and accordingly attach their own ledgers over here, the entire ledger, and fill the details. This is completed. You can save the file and we are good to go. Also, we also have a provision for extracting the data from the tally. In case if the client is using a tally software, they can directly go and extract the data from the tally software as well. This is the help portal which can be referred to while extracting the data. They need to go on the tally, accordingly load the file, that is a TCP file that we'll be sharing with you, and it needs to be loaded in the tally ERP9 folder. Go to the gateway of tally, and then this is the entire export procedure of tally which can be followed. If any help is required for the same, you can contact the support team. We'll be happy to help you. Now the file is prepared accordingly. So we are done with creating authorization and assigning team. We are done with preparing Excel file. There's an option for export data from tally as well. Now comes, we'll be seeing how after the preparation and creating authorization, we can upload this file and how it is to be done. So moving ahead, we'll be going how it is to be uploaded. We need to log into the auditor's account, go on confirmation, go on upload, select the audit type, that is statutory audit we are doing. We're going to select confirmation, bank balances, MSME, company name, branches if any, if no any branch, select as all. We're going to give confirmation that we're taking the confirmation for. Going to click on next. Select the authorization partner. Now upload the file over here. Give file the name for your reference so you remember what exactly has you rolled out for a particular company. If it is a data, give it as data. If it is as trade payable, accordingly give the name. We'll click on upload. Once it is uploaded, here's the screen how it will look like, where in case if you're not able to identify in the validate input, you'll be able to see if there is error in the file, error warnings as well. Request you to let the data load. You can check whether all the entries are properly loaded by going at the end of the page. Click on next. Click on commit. We need to commit the file. It has been successfully commit. Click on authorize. Please let the data load and then click on authorize. The status is shown as awaiting audit verification. Here comes the part where the client needs to verify the data. So now we need to log in to the client's account. The clients need to log into their account and verify this data. So this is the client's login. They'll be able to see whatever data you have uploaded by going on confirmation, track, awaiting audit verification, viewing the file, verifying the file. Now the client needs to verify this file. Click on verification, verify it. It is done. You will get an option for sending a confirmation. So log into your auditor's portal, track that particular confirmation, and here's an option, send confirmation. So only when it is verified, you'll be getting an option to send the confirmation form. Check all the details is properly verified, go till the end. Now click on send confirmation. The reminders. So basically we have reminders, that is 5 reminders on interval of 3 days, 5 reminders interval of 7 days. Means in every 3 days, 1 reminder will be sent and a total of 5 reminder is sent. Accordingly, select the reminder, please. Select the email ID. This is the email ID that we have configured for sending the confirmations. You'll get it in the drop down. In case if you're not, you have not configured it, you can directly add from here as well. Is there any attachment that you want to send? Click on yes. If no, click it on no. If any contact person that needs to be selected, you can select from the drop down. If not, kindly do not select any contact person. There's an option as send now. Also, we have a schedule it for later option where you can schedule it and automatically the confirmations will be triggered at that time. Click on send confirmation. You have sent the confirmation. This is how your dashboard would look like. We are going to have a walkthrough on how the responder will be receiving the email. So this is how the responder will be receiving the email, that this is a balance confirmation request from the auditors. Accordingly, your organization name, your firm name, chartered accountant. And this is entirely with this email as well, the authority letter that the client has uploaded will be circulated to each and every responders. They have accordingly received this email. They need to click on respond in order to respond it. Once it is clicked, this is how it is looked like. And they'll be able to see the details, that what is the balance due that the auditee has mentioned, whether, and they can reply by clicking whether the amount is correct or whether the amount is incorrect. In case of amount is correct, they can attach any documents that they want. There's no optional for them. And any remarks can be given in the remarks column. In case the amount is incorrect, they need to mention what exactly is their amount. So we have an auditee details and we have a confirmer details that they would be confirming. They need to attach any document, not they can confirm the same. Also, here comes the second part where they can reconcile their differences. So we have a reconciliation platform where they can do the same, attach the documents, credit note, debit note, whichever is missing, or accordingly what is missing, or either they can skip it. Comes the last page, that is the confirmer log page. Who is responding to this confirmation? Their name, designation, mobile number if they want to fill it. If not, email ID is mandatory because on this email ID, they will be getting a verification code, only after which they put the verification code, then only the response is submitted. So they'll be receiving, how they'll receive the mail, it will be shown. Once they receive the verification code, they need to enter it and they can validate it. It means the confirmation has been submitted successfully. They can download the copy for their reference as well if they want to. So this is how the entire process is accordingly done. So we have finished with accordingly upload, commit, authorize, verification by the client, fourth step, configure and send requests. The same way how we rolled out the balance confirmation, the same thing is done for bank as well and the MSME. So I'll be having you a walkthrough about how the bank confirmation is done. Process is the entirely for bank as well as MSME is the same. To go on confirmation, upload, and accordingly, all we can follow this process. So I'll be having you a walkthrough about how exactly the bank confirmation template is to be prepared. In the bank confirmation, there are only few items that need to be filled. That is reference number, any unique ID code, name of entity, IFSC code of the bank as we're sending a bank confirmation. If it is there, good to go. If not, it is not mandatory. Branch name, name one, email one, which is mandatory and needs to be filled. Email CC, you can put CC as well, email BCC. Way, response type, remarks, any to be mentioned also. And you can save the file. And the process of the bank confirmation is same as the balance confirmation. The same goes with the MSME. If the auditors now can send bank MSME confirmation, the same for MSME confirmation, the process goes the same, and I'll be assisting you with the format as well. We'll be having a look at MSME, how exactly that template looks like, and what is required that needs to be filled. Reference number is a mandatory in 3 of the parties, that is bank confirmation, balances confirmation, or is it an MSME confirmation that we're rolling out. So make sure that you input the reference number properly. Name of the entity, name, PAN details, accordingly email ID, which is the email way, emails, negative, accordingly, and any remarks. So there is not much to be done in the bank and MSME confirmation. No need for mentioning any balances. You can directly fill these details and roll out the confirmation in the same way how the balance confirmations. Once it is done, so means we have completed our authorization and assigning team, the 5-step process that requires creating authorization, assigning team, preparation of Excel file, whether it's a balances confirmation, bank balances, or whether it's an MSME confirmation. Option is there to export the data from the tally. Third is our step, upload, commit, and authorize, which we have uploaded the file. The auditor has to commit the file. The auditor has to authorize the file. Once it is done, now comes the part of a client where they have to verify, and then you can send the confirmations. So this is a 5-step process, easy step process, which you need to complete. So any questions regarding the same, request the attendees to kindly let us know. Okay, so we do have a questions here. Only admin can create authorization. No, even authorizers can create an authorization. In response, you said about blank response, please again explain that. Blank response means basically if the client or as an auditor, you don't want to share any balances with the parties and you want them to share their balances, what is in their books. So you can send a blank confirmation where no amount is shared with them and they have to accordingly send. Can we edit the users in partner tab or no? No, in partner tabs, we cannot edit the users. If you want to edit the details, kindly let us know. If I am the portal manager, if you're the portal manager, you can access the details of the portal as well. How to change the email ID of customers or vendors once file is uploaded. Okay, we are going to see how it is done once we have gone ahead with this step. Where I'll be explaining you how you can track the responses, etc. Can we attach the Excel template while sending the request for confirmation? If the amounts are not matching as per vendor, you should submit details in a prescribed template format. Okay, so yes, you do have an option where you can send an attachment. That is, in the party template, there's a column as attachment. First comes the remarks, and the last one is the attachment column. Where if you want to attach any details, you can attach and send it. So yes, we can send an attachment if you want to send a specific attachment to the party. In case of sending balance confirmation to debtors, creditors, only 2 options are coming. Whether the amount is correct or incorrect. Can we put blank confirmation so that they can send the amounts? Okay, like I said, we have to, while sending the confirmation, you have to select whether it would be positive. That is, in positive they would be getting whether the amount is correct or whether the amount is not correct. Second is negative, whether they have to reply if the amount is incorrect. And the third is blank, means we will not be sharing any details. They would be the one filling the details. So in blank confirmation, once we send a blank confirmation, they will be the one sharing the details. Please give a revision about creating user and authorization. Okay. So I'll give you a quick brief through of how you can create a user and create an authorization. For creating user, that is adding user, click on settings, manage users. There's an option for manage users and create the user. Like I told you, there are 4 roles: admin, portal manager, authorizer, and preparer. So accordingly, assign the role and create the authorizing. That is, for admin is the one responsible entirely for the portal. Portal manager cannot add the users but access all the details. Authorizer is the one who can roll out the confirmation, track the confirmation, authorize the confirmation, etc. And last is the preparer. The preparer is the one who can only prepare the file and upload it. No further actions is given to it. So kindly assign the role, add the users accordingly. Here, the second one is authorization. Authorization means linking of the client in your account. So you need to go on confirmation, authorization. So before sending any confirmation, make sure that you have done the authorization, that is link the client's account. So once you go in authorization, create authorization for that particular new user that you want to, new registered client. Select the entity, the audit type you're doing, branches, partner's name, audit period that you're doing the audit confirmation for, and select the team and submit the details. Once you submit, yours and the client account has been linked. To add multiple branches. Okay. So in case of accordingly client, you can add multiple branches. The client can add these branches the same way by going into manage users, that is settings on their dashboard, settings, manage users, and branches. If they have multiple branches, please download the sample Excel file, fill the details, upload it, and accordingly the branches would be added. In case if it's a single or one or two branch, you can create accordingly from the single. The same way how you're adding the users, the branches part is done. Receiving the confirmation can be give more than one email. Like I said, you can put mail ID 2, mail ID 3, up to 5 email IDs you can input. In case of bank confirmation template, can we enter more than one person mail ID? Okay, the answer is the same for this one as well. From where can I get tally confirmation TCP file? Okay, this TCP file, kindly contact us. We would be forwarding you the same. I've personally experienced it while using firmware that third parties don't click on responsible. They just reply to that email. How to solve this problem? Because, okay, this problem exactly is faced by the responders. While explaining you how the party, how the responses tracking process goes, this doubts will be cleared as well. Can a preparer be authorizer? Definitely you can change the role. If you want to make the preparer as an authorizer who will be tracking the reporting exactly, you can do the same. In last step, you said that the client will verify, and after that, so who will send confirmation? Client. Okay. So means when you have uploaded the file, we as an authorizer have authorized the file. Once the authorization is done, now the client needs to verify the file that all the data is correct. Once it is verified, the auditor gets a tab of sending confirmation. So we as an auditor are now able to send the confirmation. So the auditor has to send the confirmation. Can we keep track of the reminders being sent? Yes, we can do so. And how it can be done, I'll be explaining you while tracking. If the email ID which we have used is invalid, okay. So when we go on the stage where we will be seeing how the responses are tracked, how the file is, basically you can change the details if it is wrong, you'll be able to, your question will be answered. Can we modify reminder period? That will be explained in tracking as well. We are yet to be beyond that part where I'll be explaining you how to track the data, how to check the responses, what are the reminders set. So before moving ahead, just need to clear this part, whether the part of audit confirmation file process is clear with you all. That is, so any question related to creating authorization and assigning team, preparation of Excel file, upload, commit authorize, verification by client, configure and send request. Any question related to it, request the team to ask, because after that comes our tracking part. So we'll wait for 1 more minute and go ahead in case if there are no more questions. Okay, I guess there are no more questions, so we can go ahead with the tracking process, how exactly it can be done. Audit confirm. Now comes the stage where we are going to respond, monitor it, and audit documentation. So we are going to go step by step and answer all your questions regarding once the confirmation is sent, how are we going to track it? How are we going to keep the confirmer log? How will we be able to see the details? Everything will be answered over here. Now, first, we'll go by step process. Where to track responses received majorly. So we'll take you live through how you can track the responses that you have uploaded. Once you have uploaded the file goes in progress. Click on view, that is you'll go on confirmation, track that particular file. I'll go once again, go on confirmation, go on track on file, Once you track, select the audit ID, that is the confirmation that you want to track. View that particular confirmation. Once you view, this is how the page and the key statistic would look like. And on this platform itself, where you have rolled out the confirmation, you will be able to track the live status. On what stage exactly is that confirmation? So we have an option where you can see how many parties have responded, how many it has been delivered, what is the read state, etc. And here, every party status is individually updated as well. If you want to see one by one, there's an option. Filter by status, whether it's delivered, read, responded, etc. How you can see, let's say there's an option delivered, read, responded. If you want to view that particular responded party, there's an option as view. That is a quick action button where you can click. Once you view that particular party, you will be able to see that what we have sent, what that particular party has responded, and what that particular party has attached. And comes the part that is the confirmation log, where you can see who has prepared the file, authorized by whom, verified by who has replied, their IP address, which is a documentation for you, on what date and time it was responded, and by whom it was responded. So all the confirmer log, you get it here. You can download the copy as well over here. This is how you can track the responses. So where we can track the responses, we have come to know that. Now comes the second option. How does reminder work? I'm going to explain you that as well. So basically, as we remember, while we uploaded the file, we selected the reminder, right? So these reminders, for example, I have selected 5 reminders in every interval of 3 days. So accordingly, you'll be able to check the reminder count under the count column, that how many reminders has been sent. Or you can download the Excel file. I'll explain you about how you will be downloading the Excel file and you'll get in the data. So if you want to see on the screen itself, you can check what this particular party, how many reminders have been triggered from the count column. Second part is there an option to stop the reminders? Yes, we do have an option for that. And how do we do that? Is by selecting that particular party. Or if you want to stop the reminders for all the parties, accordingly, do not put any filter, select all the party. That is, we have an option. If you want to select it individually, go to that particular party and select it. But if you want to stop the reminder to all the parties, that is in bulk, go and select the status option. That is at the left side of the corner. Select. Once you selected it, or if you want to select it individually, there's an action tab just beside the filter by status. Click on that, and here all the actions can be performed. If you want to resend the reminder, resend it for that particular party or select bulk. If you want to start the reminder again, resend means only one reminder is triggered. If you click on start reminder, that means this reminders that you have selected, that is on every interval of 3 days, 5 reminders will be triggered. It will be started. If you want to stop the reminder, you can do so by clicking on stop reminder. So this is how the reminder works and the reminder process goes. Now comes, what if the email ID is incorrect? This is the major issue that we face during sending audit confirmation, that most of the time the confirmation that we have sent is gone to the wrong department and now you want to correct it. How do we do that? We're going to assist you with that as well. Let's say this particular party is not the concerned person and I want to change the details of it. Select that particular party. There's a quick action button you can go through, or if not, there is an option here to revoke as well. So we are going to assist you with a quick action button for you, that is revoke. Once you revoke the confirmation, means now this confirmation is available for editing. You click on editing, that is the pencil icon. and you can edit the particular mail ID. If you want to add any mail ID as well in the CC, you can do so as well. Or if there is a reason for update, now give your reason for update. It is email ID update. And you can do the same. Make sure that once the records have been updated, you resend this confirmation, because as we have revoked it and we have edited it, there's the last step of sending it. So make sure there's an option of arrow button, click on that and send confirmation. Then only these confirmations will be rolled out to the parties that you have updated the record of. Now comes how to download report for documentation. Here comes the part where you can check and download the report in bulk in Excel format. So what you have to do, go on your confirmation tab, click on track, view that particular audit ID, and comes a part where is an option just beside the action, that is reports. There are two options over here, that is detail and summary. Now, what is detail and summary? Detail means if you want the report along with the attachments that you have attached and the confirmer has attached, click on detailed report. These detailed report will be sent to the login credentials from which you have logged in to the email ID. In case if you want a quick report just on your desktop, click on summary report and the reports will be downloaded. Once you open the report, this is how you will be getting the entire overview of the report. That is general information. In general information, you will be able to track how many reminders has been scheduled, when it has been scheduled for, and what is the status, whether it has been sent, whether it is scheduled, or whatever it is. Exactly. Second is our summary. Now comes the summary report where you can have a quick overview that how many people have confirmed it, how many you have sent to, how many have read, received, what was the sent amount, what is the received amount. This is the overall summary. That is, let's say 100 parties, so 100 party summaries will be shown over here together. What is the confirm? Third comes a party, that is detailed report, where individually the entire report of every confirmer is shown over here. What state they are, data, whether they are reference number, and what is the difference amount that will be auditee means your amount, confirmer amount means what the confirmer has responded, and comes the difference amount, that is what is the amount of difference between both the parties, and if there is any reconciled or unreconciled amount. Any remarks that the confirmer has mentioned will be shown here, what time it was updated. Same is the confirmer log and the auditee log. Confirmer log is the entire details of the confirmer, when they have responded, etc. And the auditee log is your log, when you have sent the confirmation, etc. So you can do that in one quick, simple step. Just download the report, track the entire data. If you want to give it as a proof, you can check on the portal as well. So you have both the option available. Download it either in the Excel sheet or you can track from the portal itself. So this is how basically the major way of tracking that can be done. So is there any questions regarding this? So we will be answering the same. I would request the attendees to kindly raise their questions in case if they have any doubt in the responding or tracking. Can we modify the reminder period? No, whatever reminder has been set, it would be accordingly rolled out accordingly, that only. Any other questions, please? We'll be waiting for 2-3 minutes. Is there any mobile and desktop application? We do have a, we don't have a desktop application. You need to visit the website and accordingly log into the portal. Any more questions? I would request the attendees to please ask. Audit evidence for individual client. How to document audit evidence for individual client. So you don't have to maintain any other log anywhere else. All the details, like I told you, you can download the copy over here only itself. download this copy and keep this copy for your reference for maintaining the documentation if you want to. Otherwise, all the data is stored here itself with the confirming log, and that log has been a verified log by OTP. So it's a valid one. Okay, Suman, can you explain if the responses are received over email, how can we update the response? Definitely, I will. So sometimes, mostly it happens in the bank confirmation cases where bank has replied you on email. Okay, or if the responder has responded on email. So we do have an option in case of balances. If they have responded over email, you can go and mark it as respond in the system for the balances. That is, there's an option as a quick button. I will select the particular party, and there's an option for mark it as respond. Once you click on mark it as respond, you can reply the same. If there are any details you want to reply, you can attach there's a reason, manual respond reason, responded on email, put your reference document and confirm the same. Once it is, it will be marked as respond in the system. And in case of bank confirmation, in case the bank has responded over the email, we do have an option that you can forward that email to record@firmway.in and it will be auto captured. So for this feature, request the team to the attendees to kindly contact the support team. There's an option, stopping reminders is a manual process, or will it end once the confirmations are received? Okay, let's say this particular party has responded. So no, the reminders would not be sent to the already responded parties. It is triggered only to the ones who are yet to be responded. Whether the client setup is made and performed all the process by the auditor or client. Okay, like I told you, you have the option as well to set up the client account. Just make sure that you have all the details that is required for the client. So both ways it can go. Either the client can set up the account or even the auditor can set up their account by taking the entire details of the client. Third parties don't click to respond button, send an email. They just reply. How to solve this problem? Like I told you, you can mark it as respond in the system as well, or either forward it to record@firmway.in and it will be auto captured. How to download templates for balance confirmation? Okay, we do have a help portal where you can go and download the samples, or on the portal itself while rolling out the confirmation, you can download the sample to just select the type of confirmation you're sending. Here comes the download sample template. You can do the same. So it can go both ways. We have a help link portal from where you can download the samples as well. And you can go and accordingly download the samples from your portal itself. How to download it? Okay. Why confirmation format is not proper? Can you please assist us a little bit of like why confirmation for a format is what exactly? Can you please elaborate your query, Virajji? So until Viraj Modi replies, we'll be going ahead with the other question, that is whether reminders will be automatically stopped once we receive the confirmation. Like I said, once the party has responded, yes, the reminders would be stopped to them. Only the delivered or not responded parties, automatically the reminders are triggered. We don't have to do anything. If you want to stop the reminders, you can go and stop and follow the reminder stoppage procedure. Any other questions? I guess we have answered all the questions. We would what if client don't approve firmware? By don't approve firmware, what exactly is it? Can you please elaborate us? By don't approve means in what cases they won't approve? Please make in your software changes for reminder modification. Sure, Rishabji, we have noted that in case if you want to change the reminders, we have noted your concern. What is the purpose of authorization before sending confirmation request? The purpose of authorization means, like I told you, before any standard confirmations, we all know that we need to get it verified by the client as well before rolling out any confirmations. So, for the purpose of verifying the file, we need to link your as well as the client's account. Once this authorization is created, it means both of your accounts are linked. So the auditor uploads the file. The client will be able to see what exactly the auditor has uploaded. He will verify that everything is good to go, and you can start rolling out the confirmations, and you can roll out the confirmations. So basically, the purpose is linking your and client's account so that both are in loop and both are able to check on what stage the confirmation is. Other questions that the team would like to ask? I guess there are no questions. So we can move ahead with the new feature release. New feature release, basically there are few features that we have released from Firmware. That is auto capture response received over email. This feature means, like I told you, if you have received a reply on email, it becomes quite hectic. Yeah, hectic to manage the responses on email. So we do have a accordingly feature where you can just forward that particular email to record@firmware.in, and it will be captured by the system and marked as response automatically. The details that are in an email will be automatically captured. So this is the feature that we have received. Tracking response made easy. Now, what exactly this is the feature where mostly will be, I'll give you an example where if you want to just see only how many audit IDs are open, you can just click and check on open. If you want to see all, you can go on all. If you want just to check whether which audit IDs are open, just want to see that. You want to go, just click on open, and you'll be able to see only the audit IDs that are open. So this creates a big, this creates, you can able to properly, easily manageable, and you won't get confused. The second is, I want to check which IDs are closed and has been done, auditors has been done. You can go and click on which audited IDs has been closed. So this is the feature that we have provided. Previously, it was just all in as our clients requested, our firms requested that they want it creates a confusion for them. We have released this feature so that it becomes easily manageable tracking for them as well. Support to the user. So we do have a chat support where you can raise directly your concern, and within the range of 1 to 5 minutes, you will get the responses. Where we have released this feature that if you're just rolling out the confirmation or any issue that you have, just click on that chat box option, raise your concern, and our support team will be on a very quick timeline. They'll respond to you. Generating domain setting. So basically, previously it was that we used to forward you the records. Then you need to, accordingly, you had to wait for the records to reach by you. Then you have to go and submit it to the IT team. Now we have changed that procedure and given it on your portal itself. So you don't have to wait for anything. Just quickly go to your dashboard, go on settings and release your domain and start going ahead with the procedures. So these are the records accordingly that has been released, are the new features that we have released. That is, auto capture is available for you. So request the team that in case if anyone is facing any issues with accordingly receiving responses on the email, please contact the support team. Will help you out in that as well. As our new feature has been updated, tracking has been made easy, where you can check whether audit IDs are open, closed, or all audit IDs as well as chat support is given to the users, where a very quick timeline range, your queries will be solved without any delay. Generating domain DNS settings. Now you can generate your domain by yourself and get it published within a quick timeline. So all these features has just been released so that the work for auditing process flow becomes easier, manageable, and we can keep a track on all the records. So I would like to thank everyone for attending this webinar. I'll also request that before ending this session, are there any questions related to the entire process? Wait for 1 to 2 minutes. If there are any questions regarding to any part of the process that we have discussed today, we'll be answering. So please go ahead, team, ask your questions. We will be answering your queries. We also definitely you would be getting. We'll be sharing the recording. Don't worry. Just drop a if for any query, drop a mail on support@formway.in or through chat. You can raise the concern whether you want the recording thing. We'll definitely share it with you, Rahul. More questions? Okay. So there are different type of package. I'll tell my sales team to get in contact with you, HLG, regarding what are the type of packages available with us. Please explain click to respond feature. So basically, this click to respond feature is when you the responder can click to respond to the link, and a tab is opened like I showed you, where they can respond what is their amount, what is not the amount, and exactly attach the ledgers and submit the response with the help of the OTP, that is to the verification. What is the support contact number? Rest assured, we'll be sharing you the support contact number as well. When in case of any queries, you can contact us directly, or the most easy way to contact us without much hassle is just log into your portal or on our website. There's a chat support system. Just raise your concern over there and you'll directly reach to us. Any more questions that anyone would like to ask? Can you share the recordings over mail submitted while registration? Sure, we'll do that. For today's recording session, rest assured the recordings will be shared accordingly. Gaurav, anyone else? Any questions? I guess all the questions has been answered. Definitely will be sharing the recording, Somnathji, rest assured. Thank you so much everyone for your valuable time. At the end of the session, we'll be forwarding your feedback form. Request you to provide us your feedback, your valuable opinions, so that we can amend whatever are your requirements and go ahead with the process. Thank you so much everyone for your support.
Thank you so much, Suman, for your time, and thank you everyone for giving us your valuable time. Further, our business development team will be getting in touch with the people who require our assistance for deciding which plan they should go ahead with. So surely by the end of the day, or the business development team will be getting in touch with you, and you will be also receiving the recordings by today, end of the day as well. So as well as I understand you are looking for the support team's number, everything will be provided to you over an email.
Thank you so much, Devina. Thank you so much everyone for your valuable and precious time. We will be meeting in next webinar session. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Have a nice.
Have a nice day.